The Nigerian government denies this happened. A peaceful protest turned deadly.
The police were peaceful. They came and started shooting at us.
CNN investigated the events at Lekki Tollgate the night of October 20th in Lagos, Nigeria. After analyzing hours of footage, we are going to tell a story that is radically different than the one the authorities are telling.
Now, peaceful protest, Abi.
Hello and welcome to the Free Thinkers channel. I'm Keen Show, and I have here with me Abdel, Idia Kosa, and NSARS, a Nigerian citizen who participated in the NSARS protester. For his safety, we've decided to keep his name anonymous, so we're referring to him as WGO. And as you just finished viewing the clip that came out recently from CNN, where they did a detailed investigative work into some of the accounts of eyewitnesses and some of the eyewitness footage that surfaced on social media at the Lekki Tollgate shooting. So Abdel, over to you.
So this was a month long, I want to say one month or 2 months long, as investigative report by the CNN, and they found out that they were actually live. Well, as many protesters have said, especially DJ Twist have said multiple times during the time, that they have been live round that were being shot at the protesters the whole time. The Nigerian government have initially said no, they were not there. They also claimed that it might have been people who were dressed like the Nigerian army, but not necessarily the Nigerian army. They went from there saying they possibly were there. To then they might have used blank ammunition, not necessarily live ammunition. And all the whole time, the story keeps changing until CNN have shown that people have died by using geolocalization system to determine where the footage were taken in the time of the shooting. They were also able to connect police accounts and protesters' account to location close to the Lekki Tollgate. So this was a very in-depth analysis of the situation. And well, like protesters have been saying for a long time, people have died, and the government was there when the things happened. What is that? What do you guys think of the different stories changing? The Nigerian stories, the Nigerian government story, the way the Nigerian government story have been changing since the beginning of the shooting.
I think I just think that the Nigerian government are liars, and they are just lying. I just believe that they are trying to cover themselves up, and they are just finding ways to escape accountability. And I just feel like it's just sad because people actually died, and now after 1 month or so, we just have the Nigerian government just trying to shift blame and just trying to escape any responsibility. And I believe at the end, no one is going to be be punished. I mean, this is how usually Nigeria government works. So, yeah.
King.
Yeah, I think it's I mean, as most people, well, let me not speak for other people, but I think it's sad. I think it's I mean, I was speaking to a friend in Nigeria today. It's just it downcasts people's soul because you try and think that Nigeria as a country, the people, and our leaders, and that we can strive for better or hope for better. And I think which we can in some areas, and we try constantly to have more faith in the government, more faith in our systems, uh, more faith in our democracy, which started again in 1999. But ever since then, it's just one story or the other of where we see the failure of democracy and failure of systems and the lack of accountability in our nation. But to give credit to a local media organization, the Premium Times also did their investigative report on the Lekki shooting, and I think it's good that CNN is coming out to give their own account at this time as well, and did a more detailed, thorough investigation where they actually looked for witnesses or eyewitness accounts and try to corroborate the stories. They even went as far as discovering or investigating or looking further into or doing what we say forensic analysis into the bullets that were found at the scene, and discovered that some of the bullets were from Serbia, and that the Nigerian government or the Nigerian army have actually purchased their documentations of the Nigerian army purchasing these bullets from Serbia within the time frame. I think around 2005, where those bullets are actually found were actually produced by Serbia. So it's just a sad story overall. But here tonight on the show, we have a guest with us, WGO, and he's currently in Nigeria at the moment, and he would like to give a few accounts. Hopefully the network is good, so we're gonna try and hear from him from a little bit. Let me bring him on here. Hello,
Okay.
W. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you change the screen arrangement?
Yeah,
Can
I can
you
hear
give-
you. Yeah.
Okay, can you please give us some of your accounts, some of your experiences so far during the NSARS protests while everything was still peaceful and up to now? If you could just give us a brief summary of your experience,
Okay. Yeah.
personal account.
And everything everything was peaceful at the beginning though. So there was no fighting. We went out peacefully, peaceful walk. So along the line, there were hoodlums who I think, to my own understanding, were hired by the government, because at the initial case, everything was so we went out normally just to shout on the street, "Enters, enters, enters, no weapon, we are armless." But along the line, the police came on board, and they were throwing tear gas at us, throwing hot water with pepper. So it was annoying, and then they forced us back. But the next day we went out, we kept the spirit burning. So until the government became involved, other private bodies became involved in the protests, and before you know, what was peaceful before turned into chaos, and before you know it, electricity started, and people lost their life. It was really really bad to me, because it was annoying, because we want justice for those lives that have been lost, because so many homes have been crying ever since, and the government have been denying this fact that nobody died. But to me, I know that too many persons died in that shooting, but they have been lying to us that nothing happened, and the CNN have come on board to give their own story on the case. But yet, the government have not even given the CNN a reply on the case. So they are quiet about everything, and I just hope that things work out for our good, because I think the government have been lying to us all these years, because we want real democracy. And what we are seeing now in Nigeria, we are not seeing a good government, because they are just after their own self, after their own belly, after their own pocket. So they are not there to serve. So when we the masses come out to cry for our rights, they see that maybe we are attacking the government, and that's a lie, because we voted them there. So the government should be our servants, but now they're like a tyrant to us. They don't work. Roads are bad. No school for now. I think it's since March till now, schools have been closed in Nigeria. No school because of the COVID, and no school. So the government are performing very poorly. I think they travel outside Nigeria. I think they are seeing the way other countries are doing their things. I think they're exposed, but they come back here and they can't even put to play what they've seen in other countries here in Nigeria. Roads are bad, no light. No, I'm on Jane now, and so just after 12 a.m. So no lights. So without Jane, you can't get light in Nigeria. So light issue is one big thing in this country. Everything is not working. You buy fuel for a very high amount. Now fuel has increased. So the government need to wake up to their tax and duty. So it's not only NSAS we are engaged. We are engaged bad government, but the movement begin with NSAS, then against bad government, because the government are doing very badly in this country.
So, WGO, sorry to interrupt you, and thank you, Lord, thank you for your input. Um, so some would say, you've made some very bold statements. Some would say, it's important to have facts or have evidence for the accusations or your own side of the story. So one of the things you did mention was that you believe, or I believe you said that it's assumed or so that the Nigerian government or someone in government or so might have hired hoodlums, quote unquote.
Yes, yeah.
Is that just a general sense of people in the society, or is there actual proof or any proof to the stories, or or you just think it's highly possible that they might have done so for one reason or the other?
Okay, when the protest began, I think it was peaceful. So along the line, other group came on board, and then they were calling themselves anti-NSAS.
Okay.
So like the government should not end SARS, that they are for SARS, that they want SARS. I was like, what is this group all about? So I think they were being paid for doing those jobs. And those people that are doing anti-NSAS, they are very few. They are not much. They are very few compared to the people who want SARS to end.
Correct.
So I think those guys were paid like to come to the street and start doing their own protest that the government should not end SARS, that this and that, and then they were doing it in a very rough manner, because they were really violent
Oh,
in
I
their
see.
own protests.
Were there
Yes.
those?
Question.
You would say those people are the
I'm
hoodlums.
sorry. Oh, should I go?
No, let Adele go.
Hello, yeah, I can hear you.
I was saying, was those, so the people who were anti-NSAS, were they the people who were hoodlums, who were burning buildings, were doing stuff like that?
Because NSAS protesters will not burn buildings, to me. Because
Yes,
if you are fighting for a right cause, you will not do it in a violent way.
correct.
Because me, I did the protest here. I have videos of myself doing the protest. As in, everything peaceful. So if you are doing something for a right cause, you do it in a peaceful manner, so that the government will hear your cry. So you cannot be doing two protests and be burning this. No, because the people that were burning those buildings, stealing, looting, those people were hoodlums, and they were not part of our cause. They had an agenda in mind, and those people are not protesters. I keep saying it. Those people that were stealing, burning buildings, destroying vehicles, and causing chaos around the state, those people are not protesters. They are hoodlums being hired by who we don't even know about. So for me, I can't be protesting and be burning buildings. I can't do such a thing. So we are peaceful people in this country, and the government have been taking us for a fool for a very long time. So we wanted democracy, and we got it in 1999. Ever since 1999 now, we have not seen any good results. Lights, zero. Water, zero. The road, everything is just upside down. If you don't have money, you either sink your own borrow, you buy a gen for your gen to give yourself lights. Just imagine, you see pay NEPA bill, you pay light tariff, and you don't get lights. It's annoying. It's really annoying. So nothing
Okay.
is working in this country, and we want a good governance. That is the agitation we are having now. It's not just about any SARS. We want a good governance in this country.
Okay. Thank you, WGO. Idi Akosa, do you have a question for him?
Yes. I think I have a question. about the COVID stuff. So um, did Nigerian government share any COVID relief for the citizens?
Okay, during the COVID, I think the first phase of the COVID, I think the World Health bought so many palliative. They bought Indomie, they bought rice, they bought so many things to share to the masses. But the government shared just few of them, just few. They shared just few, and they were showing us on TV. They shared just few, but we never knew they had so many in these warehouses. So they just show us just few of them on TV, and we never knew they were holding over 80 percentage of what Earth brought into Nigeria. So it was during this NSAS protest that we knew that the government actually shared just about 10% of what they got, and the rest they were keeping it. I don't know what reasons the government will be keeping Indomies, rice, because Indomie can I think those Indomies has a expiring date. To me, they have because every food have a expiring date. Just imagine you are keeping food stuff that were supposed to be shared to the masses, keeping them in a warehouse. That is wickedness to me. That's a big because people are hungry in this country. No food, no job, as in everything is going the wrong direction. Yet you are hoarding food. What is food? You are keeping food in warehouses that were supposed to be given to the poor masses, and you are keeping them for what? It's a very 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 bad move the government made there, because those food were given free by the World Health Organization. They, they, they were not bought. It was a free food to be given to the masses, and yet they kept them what in warehouses all over the country. That is a very bad move they made there.
So I mean, so I try to follow up relatively as much as possible on different accounts, different
Yes.
stories. Especially, I try and listen to the account of government officials. Some accounts I've heard is that the supplies they received, because there were some stories that some of the supplies they received them as late back as May or June, but
Yes.
there were some stories that some of those supplies were just received in September, and that they were getting ready to distribute them out, you know, shortly. But some of the delay was, and this I'm just giving some of the accounts of other people, and that the delay was caused by the protests, because of some of the protests that was going on for a few weeks, that they were not able to um, distribute the items. So, what are your thoughts on that?
To me, to me as a person, I've lived to the point that I don't believe the government anymore,
Hmm.
because the government tells lies. I'm used to all these things, all these lies. It's not new to me anymore. So if the government should tell you blue, to me it's black, because I've gotten to the point that I don't believe the government, the Nigerian government anymore. I don't believe them. They can deny anything deniable. They can bring up a story and tell you it's true, and yet it's a lie. So to me, I don't believe those words that are saying that the palliatives came late, or the NSAS protests caused the delay of the. So to me, those are just lies. Those are just lies. I don't. To me, I don't buy that. They are just lies.
So when it comes to the protest, especially in where you have participated in, have you actually seen any? Beside, you mentioned that they throw hot water at you guys, and also hot pepper and tear gas. Did you actually see in your area? Did you see any um, gunshot or any people die in where you were?
And okay. When we did our protest over here, and there were no gunshot actually. I think it was just tear gas and pepper and hot water. And
Okay.
I had so many persons who they pour, as in their skins were badly injured by the water and the pepper, because the water was hot. It was boiling
Oh my.
water. So some of them were injured because it was very hot. So they didn't use gun on us, but they used pepper and hot water. And
Where
though
where you were, was that the military or just the police?
hello.
Where the location where you were protesting, were the people was that the military who came or just the police?
It was the it was the police that were doing it. The police.
Was the police? Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, they had in this big tank filled with boiling water and mixed with pepper. And if they caught you, they could use their woods to hit you and stuff like that. But they didn't shoot in life gun on us. So,
I
but
see.
they did extra. Yeah, they just used pepper, tear gas. So many persons gas out, but along the line, as in we could drag some and escape for our lives.
I see. When it comes to the hoodlums that you mentioned, when it comes to the hoodlums that you mentioned, at least where you were, do you think those people were people in that live in the area that you were, or do you think they came from somewhere else?
And the hoodlums to me came from somewhere else,
Okay, I see.
because to me the government knew that they can't defeat us. That's the point. Because the government were watching the peaceful protesters for about a week plus, and they were thinking maybe we'll back down, maybe we'll stop, or we'll go home and relax. But to their surprises, like we didn't even back down. We kept on the fire burning every day, back to the street, every day, back to the street. Like we never stop. So I think they were scared that if we don't do something about this thing, maybe these guys will just come one day and just overthrow us from their seats. So that was why they had to set confusion in our midst to end the struggle. But to me, the struggle is not ended. To me, I think we must get a good result along the line. So that was the reason the hoodlums came into our midst, and they were just causing distractions. So the government now started using the word hoodlums to
I know.
tag
To talk to
NSAS protesters,
protest.
yes, and which was very wrong. So the government was looking for a way to call us hoodlums. That was the reason they brought those hoodlums into our midst, so that along the line they will see that those guys are hoodlums. So they don't know what they are fighting for. But to me, we know what we are fighting for. We know our cause. So we know that we are fighting for
So,
a good cause. Yeah.
Question.
okay, Diakosa, do you have a question?
So, I mean, you mentioned that like the hot water on you guys. That's just despicable.
Yes.
Wow,
Yes.
hot water. Wow.
Yeah.
Um. Anyways, that's just
Oh,
um
okay,
my, my
there's
question was you said that you believe that the government lies a lot. I just wanted to ask if you could tell us why and give us an examples that made you to come to that conclusion.
Okay. I believe so much that the government has been lying to us from the beginning, because I think in 2015, when this new government are coming into power during the campaign. So I think I can remember vividly that they had so many plans in mind. They made so many promises that they will make $1 to $1, that they'll be paying undergraduates 5,000 naira every month. So they made so many promises, and then to me, they've not even done one, just one of those promises they made to the Nigerians. So that's why anytime I see a politician coming out to speak, I don't believe them, because I'm used to their lies already.
Hmm.
So they have these sweet tongues. They will come and sweet talk you, say nice things, making you vote for them, and then at the end, once they are into office, they forget you. They do what's on their mind. So this things have been happening over time. years, 4 years. So we are used to their lies. So when I see a person come and say, I will do this for you if you vote for me, I don't believe it. Because why? You said that over time and you've not done one. So why should I believe you this time? So that's the reason.
So,
We do have a question.
well, that's a great point you're making there, and I think to just touch on some of the things, or what I'm sensing from you is that there's so much distrust in the Nigerian government,
Yes.
and
Yes.
not to bash the government, but to encourage them to try and instill more trust in the people, because it seems like
Yes.
the promises or campaign promises that are being made, and I don't know for sure if zero of the promises have been confirmed or
Exactly.
but I think the Nigerian government needs to be more accountable to the people, or to help ensure that the people have trust, that if they say they're going to do something,
Yes.
actually follow through, so that people can trust them. Because when there's no trust, then it's like anything they say, or even good efforts that they try to or attempt to make, will be everything will always be shot down or looked at with skepticism. But we
Right.
do have a question.
Yeah.
We have a question from one of our viewers online. So I'm going to post a question on the screen. And this question is from Deuce1223. And he says, hello, Free Thinkers TV sirs. He said, I have a question for today's guest. What does, and this question is for you, WGO. He says, what do you have
Okay.
to say, what do you have to say about people that believe the massacre was a hoax, since there was no actual footage of people being shot?
Yes.
So
Uh,
can I change? Let me change one thing. There was actual footage of people of the government shooting. So there is a little bit
Well, but also, the army initially denied that they were even there in the first
in the
place.
first place. So yes, so
Then they
there is
denied,
actual footage of them shooting. We saw that they were shooting. The
to
question is, were they shooting at people or were they shooting in the air?
Yes. They were
So
shooting, actually, yes. They were shooting.
so what do you can you answer the question, please? What do you say to
Okay.
people who believe that is a host? Like it's not true.
Okay. Okay. To me, the at the first instance, government came and denied the case that they were not there. But if you look at the the government, even in this case, were not be sincere, because at the first stage they denied it. Later on, they came back and said that people came on army uniform to shoot, and after some days they came up with another story and said that they were there, but they didn't shoot. So if you look at the different story they gave, you know that the government were lying. They were actually there. So why deny the case at the first instance, and later on you came back and said that you were there, but you didn't shoot? Nothing like that happened. So that means they were lying to us. Even the CNN have even done their own footage, and they said that actually the armies were there and gunshots were heard. So what other answers can I give? When the citizen have done their own footage and given us a report that yes, those stories were true, and even a Nigerian a celebrity did a live video on Instagram. I don't know if you watched it.
DJ
So
twist.
yeah, so I think they can't manipulate a live video. Live video can't be manipulated. I think it's what was happening there. She was giving to us live. So to me, so someone cannot come and brainwash me. I've gone past that stage that someone will come and brainwash me and say that shooting didn't happen, because I watched the live video. I watched in the CNN news. They did their own live footage, and they said that the army were there at the time those videos were made. So to me, they are correct.
so I think I think
Uh,
I think you've broken that down
Very well.
pretty well. I mean, I think that's a story that's kind of overwhelming account that most people have, or feeling that most people have towards what happened at the protest. Like you said, initially the story was denied, and then they said they weren't there. Then they said there were people in army uniform that were shooting, and then they said we were there, but we did not shoot live ammunition. That they shot rubber bullets, and now the CNN report came out with all its details and stuff, and was brought international attention. I think recently now the army says they were there, and I think they may have said they actually, but they did not shoot live. It's just the story keeps changing.
Yes.
It's even hard for you to follow up with the story. I think that just goes back to what I was saying earlier about the distrust people have, because it's like, just like Burna Boy said in his song, they want to tell us another story. Each time they're coming, it's like another story is coming. So
King, King, let
me go,
Akusa speak.
Yeah, this is a question for our brother WGO. So far, have there been any reforms, to try to improve SARS? I mean, I am aware that they switched the name from
Yes, SWAT.
to
So
SWAT.
SWAT.
So
Yes.
apart from that, are there any other reforms, to try to improve the police force?
Okay. Let me talk on that. During the struggle on the NSAS protest, the government were in a hurry to set up a new unit called SWAT. To me, that was a very wrong move. So the people were not thinking that since they disbanded SACS, that this new body, they will not put the old members of the. It's like a change of a name from SARS to SWAT, because you can't just bring up a new unit when the people are crying that they should end SARS. At least you should have waited for some time to set up a new body. And I heard that they are doing some training for the new SWAT, that they are in some place training them like how to handle crime and stuff like that. So they are working on the police reform. That's what we have been told, but we've not really seen the impact in our society for now. So they are saying that it's a long-term project that with time will feel the police reform. So for now, we've not seen any positive impact on that for now.
But I mean, I've been following, and I see that for instance, Lagos State and I think another state, a couple of other states have set up a judicial panel of inquiry.
Yes.
What do you think about?
Yes.
Have you been following that and the judicial panel of inquiry that's been going on in Lagos? What are your thoughts on
Yes,
this
for the
panel?
for the Lekki shooting, right?
Yes.
Yes, yeah. I was following that initially. To me, I think that it's taking time to me. The panel they are setting up, because it's over a month now, and then yet they've not given us any good response. So it's like every other case we've seen in Nigeria. It will trend for like a month and 2 months, and before you know it, it will die off. So
Okay.
Yeah.
we've seen issues like this before, that the government will say that they will bring up a panel, and it will just trend for a month, and then the panel will die off. They won't even give us a result. So to me, I don't believe in any panel that they are talking about. Just watch out. Before December, January, you won't hear anything about this panel again. I'm telling you the facts. Trust me, you won't hear anything.
Okay, we do have another question from an audience member. But to touch one last point on judicial panel, I mean, the last update I got was, I think yesterday I was watching the live coverage from, I think, Arise TV, and I think
Yes.
they were inquiring. It's not just about the Lekki shooting. The judicial panel of inquiry is actually set up to look into various accusations or allegations against the SARS or the Nigerian police force in general. And
Yes.
there was a story of a man that was thrown from a two-story building by SARS officials, allegedly thrown by SARS officials from a two-story building. And the last thing I heard was the lawyers for the Nigerian police force said, I think the SARS officials were supposed to appear in court because the gentleman that was accusing the police of doing such, he was in court He didn't have any legal representation, but he was representing himself. But the SARS officials did not appear in court, and the lawyers said that they don't know where the SARS officials are, or something like that, or they have no way of ensuring that they appear in court. So that's the last thing I heard. But even that story was kind of.
But what you're saying right now is similar to what he's saying. There is really no follow up or no accountability when they still postpone.
Yeah, I just wanted to give a little bit more detail so we kind of balance the story, and make sure, that we're not leaning a certain way or being.
No, I understand, and I like that. You know where I stand about that. I think you're right. We do have a question, and I have another question. So we should ask you. We'll go ahead and ask the question from the audience first, and then I have one question for you.
Okay, so the question from the audience is, and it's put on the screen right now. Okay, so Deuce1223 is asking. He said, as a Nigerian citizen who has been lied to several times, what is it that a presidential candidate has to say, or I guess could say, that will make you say, a lot of says going on, yes, he's the one. So pretty much, I think the question is, you mentioned WGO, and this question is for all of us. You mentioned that different politicians come along, and not just a presidential candidate. I guess any candidate,
even the governor.
Different candidates come along, local government chairmen, senators, House of Reps, presidents. They come along, they make promises, and you feel like sometimes these promises are not implemented. So do you necessarily think is a thing about the elected official? I mean, what do you think? What are you looking for in a presidential candidate or candidates for any office? What is it that you're expecting to say? Or is it just a matter of them saying something, or do you expect more? I mean, what do you want to see from a candidate that will make you have trust in them again and actually feel like they would live up to the promises that they have or the promises they make?
Like they say actions speak louder than voice. So to me, I don't want you to start saying words. Words are nice to say. Words are capturing. Words are tempting. You can say a word and you capture my heart. But without action, those words they're fables. They can't stand the test of time. So to me, I don't want words. I want action. So you don't come on TV and tell me you give me good education, and at the end, the schools are bad. Our school fees are way higher. So we want actions. So to me, I don't want them to start coming on and making promises. Just come and do what the people want. These guys know what we want, actually.
But
living here in Nigeria.
But how would you know before? I mean, how are you going to see the action before they're elected? They have to get into
office first.
So are you going to rely? Do you think we should be relying more of their track record, or I mean,
before they come into offices, at least they might have worked somewhere before, so they have their credentials. So if he or she has worked somewhere before, and he did very well, and is coming out to run for a post, at least we've seen that, okay, while he was working here before, he did well, he didn't steal, he didn't lie, at least he worked as in to his very best. At least we'll give him a try in that public office. But when we don't even know your track record, you just come as a neutral person and then you start telling us lies. We can't buy that anymore.
Okay, the current president.
I know where he's going. Hold on. Hold on. So basically, what he wants to do is, what if the person never been in office? I can give you. Am I okay with this? Give a specific example. So, right? Is that what like? Is that where your mind is?
No, let me speak. What I won't talk now. If you want to talk something, you don't. Okay, okay. For instance, the last election, there were several people who came out to run. For instance, and to even talk about the current president, I mean, President Muhammadu Buhari. He was president before. He has various political experience. I mean, Atiku has various political experience. Obasanjo has various political experience. President Goodluck Jonathan had various political experience. I think a lot of our politicians, I don't think they lack experience. I don't think experience is an issue to them. So what do you think would be different? For instance, I mean, we had new people like, as Adele loves to put his name out on this channel, I'm sure you've heard about.
I'll vote for him. I'll
Okay,
vote for him.
You
Of
know
course,
why?
I'll vote for
and
him.
you know there was Fela Durotoye and there was Kingsley Moghalu. There are different
Yes.
younger. Some people think age was an issue. There are young people. There are people that are fairly
Yes.
older. Well, I mean, do you think age is an issue? Do you think we should maybe people that were maybe have too much experience? Do you think maybe some people have too much experience in Nigerian politics? Well, what do you think about some of those candidates, or what do you think about some of the various things I've rambled off so far?
Okay. As a man, the more you go old, the more weaker you become in acting.
Oh, we lost him.
Hello.
Well, we
Okay.
can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah.
As a man, the more you go old, the more weak you become. So all these guys that have been ruling us, they don't have anything to offer us anymore. They are old. I'm telling you the facts. We need young and vibrant people who has good things to offer us, who has brain to drive the country forward. Because we're in a new generation. We don't want old men that can't even operate computers, that can't even do IT stuff. We need people who are tech driven, who can drive the nation to a better tomorrow. So we don't
I
want these
agree.
old men anymore. They've done their part, and they've tried. At least they tried. So they should just go and relax and eat their money and sleep.
I think.
And they should
I
allow
have,
the young ones to drive the nation forward. To
oh,
me, in the
I
last
agree.
last election, I voted for Showore because I liked him so much,
Oh, I
because
see.
he's a young man, and then he's vibrant. Because we want young minds. To me, so these guys that has been there over time, they are not offering us anything at all. Be it
Okay.
PDP, APC, they're just there. We want
I,
new people that are tech driven, because Nigeria will be a better place when we have the right leaders.
correct,
And
correct.
if
I
we
have
have
a
the
question for you. So let's go back to protests. What is it that the Nigerian government can do now to appease the protesters and make sure that we don't have any more protests going forward?
Okay, the
What do
Nigerian
you
leaders,
think?
they should open a fair playground. One, in our election, because when it comes to election, it's not fair at all. It's either war, it's a do or die affair. So one thing that they should make the playground a fair playing ground. One, and they should be sincere to the people, very sincere. When you are transparent, the masses will trust you. But now there's no transparency. Everything is like it's just hidden. They will come and tell you one thing and they will do another thing. And I think it's about last week or last 2 weeks, our government is trying to take a loan from Brazil. Just imagine. So our debt in this country is increasing. So we are owing China billions of dollars. We are only owing World Bank billions, and now we are going to Brazil. How much do Brazil have to give to us? Nigeria is seeking one point something billion from Brazil. Just imagine. It's crazy. So all the money that they have been keeping, what are they using it to do? We have the richest man in Africa from Nigeria. Just imagine. And we are borrowing money from Brazil. So are they lying to us or what? So why can't we use our own natural resources to develop this country? It's annoying. I'm telling you the fact. It's really, really annoying, and it's not good at all. So to me, the government need to be transparent in their dealings with the masses.
Okay, awesome. You know what, WGO, we thank you very much for your input so far. We thank you, Lord. We thank you. I said we thank you, Lord. I think I'm in a church. Thank you, thank you, Lord. But we thank the Lord. We thank the Lord for this opportunity, and we thank the Lord
Yes.
for your life, that you're safe, even though you're out there protesting
Yes.
in
Yeah.
what shall we say, extreme environments. So. Yeah, Kosa, do you have any last thing for WGO? Any questions so far for him? I think.
I mean, no. I think this was a good discussion, and I think I learned a lot, from Geo, and also I think I understand, how he feels, and there's a lot of frustration, with the Nigerian government, and people are not seeing enough changes in their life, and so I just hope that the Nigerian government listen to its people, and and try to make life easier, you know for the Nigerian people. So yeah, so it was good.
Awesome. I think we need to do this more often, and we bring it. WGO might be bringing you back. I would like to bring more people that are actually, on ground or involved to give a more complete, and
Okay.
a more complete account, and not just hearsay. We had one more question from Deuce123, but I think we have to round up because our video is kind of long already. We probably need to have another discussion on the way forward for Nigeria, what people think the way forward is, and have more people chime in and give their input. So please, if you are willing to give your input, please you can email us at freethinkers917 at gmail.com. I'll be sure to include that in the into the video
Description.
description.
Yes.
I'm stumbling tonight. So I'll be sure to include that in the video description so we can have more people come in and chime in, because I think we need to make this platform a platform for, just like what we want it to be, a platform for people to discuss their ideas and give their input. And we
Yeah.
just for coming on tonight, WGO, and we pray that you continue to stay safe, and
Thank you
that we
very
can
much.
continue to
Amen.
fight for a better Nigeria.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All
Thank
Thank
you
right,
very
you.
much.
we're out. Keep thinking freely.